Still fly.
Welcome back to another episode of Outlast Construction. I am Travis.
I am Ron the Roofer.
And we are going to be talking today about door knocking and storm chasing.
Storm chasers.
It's got a negative connotation to it a bit, but the main thing, honestly, is we just want to make sure that, you as somebody that's new to this, that's out there and you're working for a company and you're gonna be door knocking, you're gonna be inside these storms. We want you to get a taste of kind of what it looks like and how it feels, and what it looks like when you're working in a storm and also outside of a storm.
Yeah, very important.
First and foremost, it's really important to know, how do you know what to knock, Ron?
Yeah. Well, it's a couple different ways you can knock, right? It's not a cookie cutter way to knock. It's a couple different ways to knock, but obviously when a storm roll in, you get your notifications on Hail Recon or news or wherever you get your information for storm damage, right? So you'll go to that area, you'll start knocking doors. You'll start, hey, you have potential for hail damage or wind damage, or let me inspect your roof. So,
how do you pick that first house?
You know what? I think you just pick one and you just start there. You just kind of hoping and praying.
So do you start at the epicenter of the storm and just work your way around, or like how do you track that? Like what do you do?
So we use Hail Recon. That's they'll kind of pinpoint us to an area where you might want to start. But there's so many different ways you can go with that. You have people that kind of target the outside area of the storm. You got people that kind of look for those pockets in the storm, and you got some people that go right in the midst of it, right in the middle of where that damage was. So whichever way or whichever avenue you want to go, whatever personally works for you, that's fine. But
yeah,
that's the magic about door knocking or about doing these storms. There's no right or wrong way to do it.
I think people in our field call it canvassing, and what does canvassing look like? How do you track it? And Hail Recon has it, but we use Rooflink as our CRM, but most CRMs will have it. But Hail Recon has it to where you can literally, before you knock that door, you type in an address, it's going to show you Mr. Jones lives here, bought the house in 1991, et cetera, et cetera. And then from there, you have a good base point, but then you can drop a pin, right? Yeah. So that's, for me and for people that are doing this, I found the times that I've struggled the most is when I did not track what I did. I would say, did I knock that neighbor's house? I don't know.
Yeah.
I know I knocked the big one because that's the one I went to first, right?
Moneymaker.
Right, I went to the moneymaker. But did I not, after the storm's done and I see that roof still hasn't been done, I'm thinking, did I knock it or not?
What's going on? Yeah.
Because you're driving down that road 5 times a day. It's really important that when you're canvassing these jobs, that you're marking it. You're saying, hey, I did this house, I did this house, I did this house. It has your name on it. And then it also let your teammates know, hey, Ron, don't go knock this door. Travis has already done it. And then once you get a job, once you get a job officially on the books, make sure that you put a sign in their yard. That's another way,
door
right?
Hanger, sign, anything to let any potential knockers know that this is mine. You're good. Go to the next house or whatever, etc.
Yep.
But kind of being in a storm, and you were in a pretty big one in Hayward. I know we always refer back to that Hayward storm, which was a good storm for us, but. Once you find out what area you want to knock, you got all that knocked out. You're on that first block, and maybe it's you and me, and you say, "Hey, Ron, you get all the even side numbers, and I'm going to get all the odd side numbers." Do you split up like that, or do you claim a whole block? Do you say, "Hey, Ron, this 5 block radius is mine. You take the next 5 block radius." How do you work that out? Is that part of canvassing? Is that
Yeah, there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. You just want to see the fur fly. Yeah. So I think for me, I want to be if it's you and I on a road, I love it. Let's go right down the line. You take one side of the road, I'll take the other. Boom, boom, boom. And at the end, let's meet up and let's see who did better, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's for people that are out there doing that, challenge yourself to see who can get on the most roofs. And honestly, I don't think there's going to be too many times that the door gets slammed in your face, because of the reason that we're there, right?
They're happy to see you.
Right, so when the door does get slammed in your face, it's because you didn't do a good job explaining as to why you were there. So when you're door knocking and you're saying, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I'm here because of this. But they want to know, you're not the only one doing it. They want to know what separates you from all the other door knockers, right? Yeah. And what would you say to that?
Well, it's a ton of different things that separate us from the typical door knocker. And
Or not even a door knocker, right? Like, let me
bring it back a little bit.
Let me reframe this for you, Ron. Let me reframe this.
Yeah.
Hey, Ron, my cousin Joe has a friend that does roofs, and I think I'm gonna give him a call.
That's fine. I'm sure I'm sure your cousin Joe know how to install a roof perfectly, right? I have no doubt in his capability of roofing, but what your cousin Joe don't know is how to look for hail damage, how to look for it on. You might not know that your bird feeder is covered, your gutters might be damaged, your downspouts, the wraps of your window, your siding. So your cousin Joe that know how to install a roof, he's not a storm expert. He don't know what to look for. He may not know what to look for. So. With that being said, that's one of the things that
and cousin Joe or whoever, he sure isn't going to know how to process an insurance claim.
Yeah, oh for sure, and that's what you're getting when you get us, and that's what separates us. We understand the insurance process from A to Z. From start to finish, we're going to walk your hand through that whole process, and I think the end result is what separates us. Is not. Joe can do the roof. He can perfectly put a roof on, but we know what to look for. We know how to deal with the insurance company. We know just a lot of things that the average contractor would know.
Well, and like when a homeowner might say, for you guys out there that are knocking, it might say, oh, you're one of those storm chasers. Well, wear that badge with pride, but change the narrative. I'm not a storm chaser. I'm a storm expert, and I'm the one that you do want on this. Because I do know how to process a claim. For instance, we did a big church, and we did the roof on the church, but they also had over 40 windows that needed to be done. Yeah. And when that situation happened, they said they had somebody locally that was going to do it, and we were fine with that. We wanted to be able to do their roof. However, the gentleman met us there at the job, and he went over kind of what he thought he could do it for. He's like, well, it looks like they're only paying me this line item here for $150 a window. They must only want me to do the window wraps.
Didn't understand the insurance process.
Didn't understand. So and we had to tell him, you got to work the claim, and he didn't know what that meant. So he ended up bowing out. Respectively, he didn't know what to do. We ended up getting each window that they were paying $150 for over $1,000 for, because obviously we replaced the whole entire window, we replaced the trim, we replaced the wraps.
So it went from maybe a $5,000 window claim to maybe a $40,000 claim.
So we door knock because we know how to work a claim, and it went from a $5,000 claim to a $45,000 claim.
Nice, and that's what I think a lot of people have to understand. It's not just you're not just looking for roofs or roof damage or whatever. So what do you say? Like I know working a storm, you get a lot of no soliciting signs or no knocking sign. How do you overcome those objections? Like how I know that's been a pretty hot topic on Level the Playing Field is, do you knock this door? Do you not knock that door? And it's like you said, there's so many different ways to skin a cat. I mean, you personally, would you knock a door that's no soliciting or no private keep out or dog? Beware of dogs. I know.
Yeah, no.
The dog one can be a big one too, but like, how do you overcome those?
I know I've been in the game longer than you, but you actually told me, because I was telling you, I said I don't like knocking things where it says no soliciting, and I'm gonna just take a page out of your book. You told me straight up, are you selling them something?
Yeah.
And the answer is no. I'm informing them of something.
Yeah.
So I'm going to knock on that door because I'm not actually selling them anything.
Yeah.
I am presenting them with evidence.
Yeah.
And just showing them each and every intricate part of what it looks like and what's going on there. And then at that point, they can make an educated decision. But I mean, same thing. I mean, you got to knock the entire storm, and you got to canvas the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you have any other things you want to add up on that?
I mean, just be aware of, like, when you're in a city ordinance. Some cities have different city ordinance as far as permits to even knock that neighborhood or even canvass that neighborhood. So
that's a really
just
good
make
point.
sure you're well aware of that. Because there's different rules, different permit policies in different areas. So that's number one. You want to check on that. Just to let these people know, hey, I did my due diligence. I am new to your area. I did my due diligence. I'm not here to, you get a lot. I think the word storm chaser kind of came from, these guys, Chuck and the truck guys, coming to these markets that got hit with, a storm, and they're taking that ACV check. So, taking their money up front, and they're bouncing out of town. So now it'll leave a sour taste in people's mouth when all these unknown companies come from wherever you might be coming from. They leave a sour taste in their mouth, like, this guy's just here to get my money. So I think with us, we don't need your money to finance a storm. You don't owe us a dime until the materials are delivered to your job. So
that separates you from most of your competition.
Oh, absolutely,
too.
Absolutely.
And that's great. So that's inside of a storm. What about outside of a storm?
Outside of a storm, man, you just kind of want to be more informative you knock doors not because they, you think they might have damage, but you're just letting them know, hey, I'm Ronald. I'm with Outlast Construction. I'm doing your neighbor's build house. I just want to let you know it might get a little loud. If there's anything I can do to kind of help you guys with anything, we're gonna be here for a day or two.
I like that you said.
Another thing, I'm gonna offer you a $350 service for free just because you're Bill's neighbor and I'm doing his roof. I'm here anyway. Let me just take a look at your roof, give you a free storm inspection, give you a good bill of health. If there's nothing wrong, we're good to go. But
you can flip the narrative too when you knock it. You care about the community. Hey, Mr. Neighbor, I'm doing Bill's house just like you said. I'm doing this as a courtesy. I want to let you know that we are doing his house. If there's any debris that flies over into your yard or anything, here's my card. Give me a call.
Yeah.
And then from there, that just starts a conversation.
Starts a conversation.
So you're knocking that door to start a conversation. However, that one conversation, they're going to say, Ronald, thank you so much for knocking my door to let me know you're doing that roof. And if there is any debris, I will reach out to you.
Yeah.
By the way, my roof, I did notice my roof looks pretty old.
Yeah. That's
right?
Yep. You get me on 10 roofs, I'm gonna find 6 or 7 of them that have damage. So just getting yourself on those roofs. That's your whole. That's your goal at the end. Knocking any doors to get up on that roof.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna find some damage. You can't see the damage from the ground, so I can't tell you how many times you're knocking doors in a storm and the customer say, "My roof is perfectly fine, sir. I don't think I need you to check my roof out." And you can't confidently say your roof is fine if you haven't been up there because you can't see most damage from the ground. I have a meeting today. It was a windstorm that came through just last week.
Yep.
And this damage I couldn't see from the ground. I had to get up on the roof, and when I got up on the roof, it's quite a bit of wind damage, but the homeowner couldn't see it from the ground.
Right.
I couldn't see it from the ground. So you have to get me up on the roof. I'm going to find some damage. So that's your whole key in door knocking. Just get up by any means necessary. Get up on those roofs. Try to find damage. Try to help. But just make sure whoever you have getting on your roof, make sure they're equipped and they're competent to understand the insurance process. It's more
check reviews,
check reviews. But not only that, just make sure they're familiar with the storm process.
Yeah.
Anybody can do a roof. It's you can go on YouTube and learn how to do a roof. But can you do the insurance? Do you know how to supplement? Do you know how to communicate with the insurance company? That's big, man.
Yeah. So for those people out there that are wanting a door knock, it's important to knock in a storm. Obviously, the most important, but obviously it's equally as important to knock outside of a storm and plant those seeds, like Ron said. Hey, I just need to get on a roof. Before you know it, you might even be able to just give them a clean bill of health. That's also a good experience for them, and that's all what it is. It's all about creating the experience for those homeowners, and I think that's a perfect way to put a bow at the end of this podcast.
Yeah, we can talk forever on this stuff, but yeah, I agree, man. It's
well, I think we need to go eat because my stomach's in my back.
Mine too.
So we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Like, comment, and subscribe.